428. Let me see if we're on Facebook, if everything is working. Looks like I'm on. Some background noise. Let's see. Some background. It's really hot here, so I think the fans are working. Okay, so let's get started. So it's 1,428 days. 1,428 days since Richard was murdered there on the Fort Bliss footprint. That's right there in El Paso. Code red by his own. And that was in July of 2020. And so we've been doing this for almost 4 years. A few days, it'll be his birthday. And, you know, we have a lot of family here right now. And it is really a lot of brainstorming. And, of course, the breaking news is that we decided to get the boxes down of Richard's items, which, you know, you would think that that would be something that you can go through right away, right? Right away. Go through it and just get everything and find everything. But the boxes, even though there was just a few of them, but it took like 7 or 8 people to put them together. It was really strange, and we got, I think, 4 boxes for so Rob got all of that. That's kind of been his area of operation, and he went through it, and we got all the paperwork and going through all of that. But you know, I am not kidding. From the moment that we heard that Richard was missing, that we called, right? They never called us. We called them to say, what's going on with our son? We never dreamt that the Army would have unvetted, you know, they let these criminals become our soldiers, and they allow criminal networks to operate within our military. This is very clear, very clear. And this is nothing new that I'm saying. It is all over everyone. That's why the recruitment is so low, because criminal networks are allowed to work within our military and wreak havoc with our national security. And Richard, you know, they never even contacted us. And so when we called and they told us about our son and told us that he was not even on the rolls, that they couldn't even help us at the time, from that moment on, things have been going 100 miles an hour. I'm not joking. In our family, it's every day. And so, you know, it took us a while to even find Boleyn's initial message to us, right? Because we were getting so many messages, and we didn't know who was who and everything. So you have to really put everything in God's hand and say, okay, work hard, but you're going to find things along the way when the time is right. And today we got the boxes down, and we're going through pockets and things like that. And we did find a hard drive of Richard's. So I can't promise anything. I don't know what's on the hard drive. A matter of fact, it was pretty late tonight that we even found it. So, you know, we'll be going through that hard drive and see what's on it. Yeah, that's really amazing, because we do not, of course, uh, so many things were stolen that his identity was stolen. Our identity has been stolen. Our cause, having having a group steal your cause, right? And you know, pose as the cause, and yet work and do everything they can. I think we call them over there the Roach Motel, because they do everything they can to sabotage, to hinder, to intercept, to go behind our backs. We have all the proof to intercept information or to tamper with witnesses, to stop this investigation from going forward. But that Roach Motel, is also very telling who's over there, because Bob Moore was over there. That's Bob Moore's group. And Justin Underwood was over there. That's Bob Moore's group. Justin Underwood, if you don't know who he is, he was, or is, or whatever, Rosa Maria Valdez Garcia's attorney. And for the Walmart case, the ad litem, and even an ad litem um, attorney for the Walmart case. And also a colluder with Bob Moore and Bill Hicks to take down Yvonne Rosales, to tamper with an election, the election of Yvonne Rosales. And we've been waiting for Yvonne Rosales to come forward. And, we absolutely understand that things can look so difficult, right? From the very beginning of this, 15 plus agencies at this meeting. We were at the meeting. We know what they, um, shaking in their boots, shaking in their boots. We knew that they had been hamstrung. Um, and so we have been working very, very hard to help them, to help them get back their power, to help them get back their true cause, their true mission, for that agency, to drive the agencies to have to do the right thing. That's what we've been doing. And, you know, um, so we know that the people that know what happened to Richard, that can expose and have been exposing, just like what happened today. I'm going to be talking about William Molinar and how he was exposed today by the community. The El Paso community is not real happy with him, as far as those that support, um, justice for Richard Halliday. And our phones were just buzzing. And so Bob Moore's group with Justin Underwood, that is up to no good, with Amber Chase, who's up to no good. And I don't know if you can see it because maybe it's being blocked. I don't know. But we put up a little warning notice, an alert for the community about William Molinar. And, he shares a child with Amber Chase. And Amber Chase is absolutely an associate of Bob Moore. Okay? And with Justin Underwood, with the prime suspects in the murder of Richard, Dallas Hart, who's over there. Bob Moore of El Paso Matters wants to rub shoulders with those that are over in the Roach Motel, right? Up to no good, doing things up to no good, saying things that are absolutely not true, and they don't know what they're talking about. But yet, um, you know, you can glean a lot from it, because you can ask yourself in 4 years, what in the world do they have to lose? What is going on that they have to harass and threaten our family? You know, if I say this, the prime suspect is Dallas Hart and Leilani Hart, and I turn that in, and yet, you know, what is that? What is that to them? This big group, so many. Well, not really so many, just enough, right? Just enough. So, yeah, it's really, really telling. You know, what do they have to do with a family that is heartbroken um, for their son who recently has been declared murdered on Fort Bliss? And, you know, there is, and, you know, these are supposed to be veterans and things. Yeah, that should tell you, that should put up your spidey senses, that should raise the red flags. Don't they have something better to do in life, you know? Or is this paid? Or was what Richard was whistleblowing so devastating to them, so devastating to them that they will have to pay attention every day, you know, for their survival, for their criminal survival, because just by being over there on the imposter side, the Roach Motel, um, they are criminals. That's a criminal act. And that's Bob Moore's people. Bob Moore's over there. Um, and the attorney, right? So it's very, very criminal, and, you know, just very, very telling, because we have tried, oh, no less than 15 times to make connections and discuss things with Bob Moore of El Paso Matters. And, you know, that didn't happen, right? So, you know, that I just wanted to say that, because for some odd reason, and I just have, uh, you know, warning, 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 Will Robinson, isn't that from Outer Space, that one show? But anyway, Lost in Space, right? Warning, warning, Will Robinson. I have that up when it comes to Danae, because I know, well, we know that this group is so criminal. Um, they they're so criminal, y'all. So why, and they're being protected. So why is Danae, and, you know, William Molinar participated in this too very early on, calling out Danae when he has such a long look at William Molinar has such a, it is a huge criminal record, okay? Since 2005. It goes a little earlier than that, but really, really it starts, the bad thing, in 2005. And so, you know, and he's calling out on social media, Danae Katzen. You know, I have this weird sense that Danae wanted to speak out or something. I'm not saying she's innocent. It's kind of like this whole thing with Patrick Crucius, right? I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying she's innocent. Absolutely, they've committed crimes. But what happens that these criminals, because Danae Katzen is totally one of them, right? Is totally in that group. And what happened that she got turned in, that she got arrested, that she has active felony cases right now, 3 felony and 2 misdemeanors. Um, what is going on that they're putting her forward to get in trouble, selling her out or whatever. So, that is a big question for us right now. Did she target our family? Absolutely. Uh, is she an associate of William Molinar? Absolutely. Absolutely. Is she in Bob Moore's group? Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind. And, it's like, but what happens when what did she do? Did she want to reach out? Was she sick and tired of living this life? I don't know. I don't know, but something is strange. Something is very strange because Bob Moore has lost his credibility in our book. It totally lost his credibility. El Paso Matters totally lost their credibility, and they depend on the generosity of the listeners, right? And, to get funding from El Paso Community Foundation. And so, I think they're making a very bad decision to have Bob Moore be part of El Paso Matters. A very bad decision. Um, because he absolutely has lost all credibility by being over at that Roach Motel um, and associated with the likes of Amber Chase and, of course, Bill Hicks and, of course, Justin Underwood. And, because Amber Chase um, has targeted us and has not only targeted us, but has harassed us and threatened us for years, and really vulgar stuff. I just put up when um, we made our list, and well, we have a list, and we just picked a few that show her remarks, um, because that whole vile and vulgar bullying started at the very beginning of 2023, right? When Bill Hicks was the usurper, right? When Yvonne Rosales was out, and there was no then worry of being prosecuted, that your crimes would be identified and documented and then prosecuted. They had usurped the district attorney's office, and so that's when the retaliation really began. And the retaliation began with our whistleblower, the whistleblower that exposed Leilani Hart, for so many things, right? So many things in this case, and all related to Richard's case. And then the retaliation started with us. And, because they just, and so bold and so vulgar. And so we shared those today with you because, Bill Hicks, he's, he, anything he touches is botched. Yeah. Um, so we shared the comments and just a few of them, just a few. There was, months long, every day, months long, every day of evidence, because each and every one of those statements is evidence. It's evidence of collusion and um, relationships and the propensity to do harm, the propensity to violence. Every one of those is evidence. And when you find out that there is, relationships within the group, and a relationship with Bill Hicks and with Bob Moore and with Dallas Hart and Leilani Hart. And, if Dallas Hart and Leilani Hart were just living the life, then why do they even have to bother with this? Right? Why do they even have to bother? But they do. They do. Because they are prime suspects with lots of evidence in the murder of our son, Richard Halliday. And Richard must have been really, really, well, we might find out. Um, well, we will find out, right? What he was reporting on. And we know through Leilani Hart's own words that she had it notarized, that her family was engaged in incest and the rape of a 7-year-old in her master bedroom by multiple members of the household, that she has immigration problems, questions, that there's illegal purchase of weapons, that there's child pornography, being in possession of child pornography, and um, with Dallas Hart being in uniform and that stuff going on, and then the Army is just allowing that to continue, not to be answered to, not to, in direct connection and regards to their declaration of a murdered soldier on Fort Bliss. So, all of that is in direct connection. And now we have Amber Chase with the vile and vulgar evidence, right? Evidence. And she shares a child with William Molinar. And these people are connected to, of course, the media, to KTSM, who's running the story. KTSM, where that story came from is also very, very interesting. Yeah, FitFam. So they're running a story to make William Molinar into a hero. And now, our hotline was just going crazy. And I want to say thank you to everyone that sent us messages, because we don't want just one message. We want our phone to go crazy when something this big happens, because it tells us that the El Paso community, the community there, is concerned with the likes of William Molinar being presented as a hero to the public over and over again. And when you look at his record and who he is associated with and why he is even, I don't understand when you have an open case, an open felony case like he does, and in August is his trial date with, guess who it's with? Judge Sam Medrano, right? That's the same judge in the Walmart case is presiding over William Molinar's 2020, right, case, accusing him of sexual assault of a minor under 14 years old continuously. Okay? Judge Medrano Now this is 4 years. 4 years. Why is it so long? Um, but the case is coming, and they're trying to make him out to be a hero right before his case is going to be heard in August with Judge Madrano, who has not done one thing in the Walmart mass shooting case, and Patrick Crusius is sitting in isolation across the street from the courthouse for 5 years and not even a mental health evaluation scheduled for him. And now we have William Molinar being presented to the public there as a hero just what a couple months, not, I don't even think it's 2 months, less than 2 months away from, maybe a month and a half away from his trial. Are they trying to skew uh, the public to have mercy on him? Because he has a long criminal history, long criminal record, and backing to 2005, and connected with the likes of Amber Chase, mortuary affairs woman, right? With the connection to a discredited attack dog, political, taking advantage of the taxpayers because he wants his cake and eat it too. Bob Moore of El Paso Matters, who interfered in an election with Bill Hicks, who's a usurper. And it doesn't stop there, because Danae Katzen is also part of this. Danae Fernanda Katzen, Gonzalez, and Brees, who he was, her riding horse. I don't know if she owned it, because she never really paid for anything, right? She just stole things. She was, the claims, the accusations are that she stole horses, she stole saddles, she mistreated them, she didn't even get them shots properly or whatever. And then of course now the latest thing is the theft and the assault. Now she has felony charges. She's indicted on felony charges. Um, Let me see. I'm getting some messages. Good evening. Thank you, Danielle, for coming on, and Anicia for your prayers and your love. Well, maybe somebody needs to find the articles and arrest and republish them, the articles of arrest, and republish them to properly inform the public. Yeah. And so, yeah, we had so many messages today because people know that William Molinar has these very shady connections and a very shady past, and has this felony for the sexual abuse and assault of a minor under 14 years old continuously. Um, and so, yeah, for them to turn him into some kind of hero, or give us, a perception. Who did that? Who referred him to the media to make him out to be this hero? Who put innocent people in danger, or vulnerable people in danger? And what are his terms? Can he just travel outside the state? I mean, when he's about to face this kind of trial, when he has this kind of charge against him, I don't know if he can leave the state. So this is really, it just seems like it's orchestrated again to serve the purpose of tampering with a jury, right? Tampering with a jury, and um, yeah, because he absolutely had connections with Danae. Did Danae target us? Yes. So Yeah, thank you for coming on. Please, I was told, please join, please click like, please share, because, this is good news. We are making more than 50,000 connections with our supporters every month. We receive that, and we're being shadow banned, y'all. But even being shadow banned, we're making 50,000 plus connections every month, and that's huge. Um, and so this is why uh, we're we're effectual, um, and why, since, well, even before getting the declaration of death, and now to move forward, we're getting so many more leads that we're confirming right now. Okay, about the car, about all these LLCs, the LLCs, um, and how they connect, the addresses, how they connect. And Nadal Baim is coming up in the mix of that, which is, you know, some of the craziest things that are being brought to our attention. And they're not crazy at all, because look at what they did in 2020 to us, right? Look at what Bill Hicks did, usurp the 34th Judicial District Attorney's office. And what's going on? Why isn't he pulled out of there yet? Why isn't he pulled out? Because it is so clear that he's a usurper. The evidence is hard evidence. So why he's not pulled out of there? We got word that things are shaking up. So it doesn't happen as fast as we think it should happen, but it is happening. And we're very grateful for that institutional support, because of 50,000 connections a month. And if we can increase that, then we'll have even more effect on driving our institutions to doing the right thing. Because if we wait until this all falls apart, who knows how long that will take. We have to work with what we have, and that is to drive those that are in those offices to do the right thing. And absolutely, Bill Hicks needs to be arrested. And the media needs to be notified. And I know did receive screenshots of people complaining already about William Molinar, that because there's some issues with how he treats his children. This is, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not in his house. All I know is he has some really tough criminal accusations. He has a very, very long criminal history. He's risky. He's very risky. And I talked to him myself. I talked to his girlfriend myself. Um, uh, but it doesn't change his record. It doesn't change this upcoming trial. What it's for, it's a felony. It's a felony for assaulting, abusing a minor under 14 years old continuously. And it was sexual. And so he's very risky. He should not be getting donations. They need to vet. They need to get some other cowboy to do it. He absolutely has not deserved that kind of trust, has not earned that kind of trust. And to put him in the community where vulnerable people that have been suffering from fire, and of course I've been around farming a lot, and those horses, they'll be, there's plenty of people, their owners know what to do. That's what I'm saying. I want to say that the owners know what to do, and they help each other out. And so the narrative that's going forward is is not worth the risk to the community. And the community, I didn't know about this story. The community reached out to us. And so we are very, very grateful that we can connect some dots and um, and team up with those concerned citizens there in El Paso that are concerned with the level of criminality that is happening right now. So I think that makes sense. And that's really until we confirm. We just really try to confirm, confirm, confirm. We don't always have to do that because things, you know, don't have to be 100%. They just have to be beyond a reasonable doubt, right? Or 51%. Um, 51% beyond a reasonable doubt depends on, if it's what kind of case it is. Richard's case is a capital murder case, and it's a code red. And that's why it's so tough to get the accountability. And that's why they wanted to cover it up. And that's why it's tough to get Richard's remains back. But we're starting to work on, all of that is happening. And I don't know how long it will take. But we are still very careful to verify everything. And I can tell you this, that Bill Hicks, with his law firm, with Ortega Rocha, well, it's not, Belen Ortega Rocha, the Ortegas. Um, and that leads to a lot of addresses, a lot of LLCs, which lead to more addresses and more LLCs. And, so it's all coming out. Who owns what and who's partners with who and what all they're protecting. And they had a really sweet little, I don't know if I should call it sweet, criminal. It was a criminal network going. And they were up to no good. And Richard reported, and it threatened their little criminal network. And that's why it had to be a code red, because Clem Coward, Major General Clem Coward, is absolutely part of this. And of course, Lieutenant Colonel Roddick is absolutely part of this. And, another thing that we were reminded of when we were looking through his boxes today is all the awards, that are in there. And maybe I should take some pictures. And who was giving him awards? David Park, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Roddick, the First Sergeant, Jay Paulin. They were all giving him awards. He received 3 AAMs, 3 AAMs very, very quickly. And so, good job, wonderful, this and that. And we also received a picture of his motion picture money burnt. And there in it is clearly the money that says for motion picture use only. And the date on the picture. So that really, Marlon Soto needs to get Marlon Soto's dirty. He's dirty because the rumors that he was putting out in the law enforcement community against Richard was all trash. It was all trash. So this is one more piece of evidence that exonerates Richard and all of the smear campaigns that they did against him. to the law enforcement community. Okay, that's that was the target for the smears. The smears were not really about the community. Okay, the smears were directed to the law enforcement agencies to mess with them, to hypnotize them, to get them to not do their job. Well, we're here to get them, to drive them to do their job. And so, it's just a different day than than what what Bob Moore is used to. It's a different day. And he is discredited. In my opinion, he's discredited. So, thank you so much. If you have any more questions, um, we really appreciate it. Please copy, please like and comment and ask questions about Danae and her case, or Richard, and why we believe Dallas Hart's a prime suspect. We will answer that over and over and over again. So thank you so much, and we will be back tomorrow, God willing. Bye bye.